Hey Anchorage, welcome to another segment of Local Business Spotlight. This week we're featuring Brie Xavier with Brie's Botanical Garden Tours. Hi Brie, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. So tell me a little about you and your business.
My name is Brie Xavier, and my business is Brie's Botanical Garden Tours. And I offer guided tours of the Alaska Botanical Garden in East Anchorage. The tours, they follow the main paved loop trail of the Botanical Garden. It's about a half-mile paved trail, and the tours will take you through the several different perennial gardens. There's the lower perennial garden, the herb garden, the rock garden, the heritage garden, and Lyle's garden. So it's a really great kind of leisurely stroll through the garden to see the different types of hardy perennials that do well here in Anchorage. So the perennials are plants that come back every year. And some of the really big, amazing showstoppers that you can see out here are the Himalayan blue poppy. Oops, right here. You might see this. And also the beautiful peonies. Those are just amazing and spectacular. And honestly, such a showstopper. So I'd really, encourage anyone, if you haven't been here before, come on out and come take a tour. I can give you a little information about the plants and about the climate and about Anchorage in general if you're new or if you have some visitors in town.
Awesome. And so how long does the tour take?
It's kind of at your own pace, depending on how much time folks want to take. Usually about 45 minutes to an hour, especially to leave time for any questions you might have and to stop and take some beautiful photos of all the gorgeous flowers that are out here. So it's really kind of at your own pace.
Cool. And when is the best time? I mean, do you get started with tours right now, or is it something that we really need to wait a month or so, or when's the best time to take it? Excuse me, to take a tour.
I'd say, the garden, and you might notice this from even your own backyard. Plants they're growing, and there are different changes throughout the whole summer season. Right now, we are still kind of snow covered out here, so the tour would be more about winter plant ID. Not too many beautiful flowers popping up just yet. The botanical garden and the tour is a completely outdoor tour, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Usually we have some plants starting to pop up, some of the alpine plants, the really small, tiny plants that you might see way above on the mountains. They have some of those in their rock garden, and those plants start coming up usually like the end of May, maybe early June. This year it might be a little bit different. We've had quite the cold, long, drawn out spring here, so it might be
Sure.
a little bit later than we're typically used to. But generally from the end of May through August, early September, there is always something to see out here. And each week, the different plants that are blooming changes. So that's really fun too. It's not just a one-time visit out here.
Awesome. So we got a question from Jerry here that she's asking, would 4 and 6 year old girls be too young to take that tour?
Oh, not at all. And it's a really easy, paved trail. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that they might have. And I'm sure they would love to see all the beautiful flowers. And there are some, insects out here. There's butterflies and moths, and you'll see some birds as well. And maybe the occasional bear. That is something, living out here in Anchorage, everywhere is bear country. So we definitely want to be safe about wildlife. But I'm sure the girls would definitely enjoy it.
Sure. Are there bears that show up there a lot?
They can, where the garden is located in East Anchorage, and I don't know if you can see the fence behind me. So the garden is completely fenced in, all 110 acres. But the bears, we know, they can climb over these fences or they can sneak under. So I have seen more bears here than anywhere else, pretty much in Anchorage. Uh,
Wow.
also, also part of the garden touches the North Fork of Campbell Creek. and salmon do come to that creek. So
Sure.
in July, that's when we do have to be a little more cautious and definitely give the bears their space. They were here first, and we definitely want to practice good wildlife etiquette and be very clean and safe and loud when we walk.
Sure. So I didn't know about botanical tours or anything. Anyone that I've ever been on, it's always been kind of a self-guided tour. How did you get started with this?
I used to work for the botanical garden, and just through different things, I decided I wanted to try to start my own business. I graduated from Alaska Pacific University with my MBA in 2017. So I decided to give this a go. I really love interacting with people. And I loved that part of my job here, talking with visitors and even locals that had never been here before, such as yourself, maybe. So I love sharing the information about the garden. And things kind of took off. I happened to be on Airbnb, believe it or not, and just looking around, and they have a really cool experiences section. And so in their experiences section, that's where I kind of launched this, and that's where you can also book one of my tours on Airbnb in the experience section for Anchorage. Um, and I just really enjoy, sharing Anchorage or sharing the Alaska Botanical Garden with everyone. And, people, they are amazed when they find out that we have this great resource here in Anchorage. And the Botanical Garden, they do offer self-guided tours. They have a trail map. You do not need to take a tour with me. They are open right now. I believe it's 10 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday. And then their hours change middle of May. But it's a beautiful spot to come out here. And like I said, come out every couple of weeks even. And I'm also going to encourage membership to the Botanical Garden, because that helps support the garden. And then you have free entry multiple times. And when you're supporting my small business, you're also supporting the garden. So two small businesses.
Awesome. And so what does a typical tour cost? Is it per person or is it per tour, or how does that work?
I do have a fee per person, and it kind of varies through the season. Right now, uh, there is no entry fee to the botanical garden, and my tour fee is very minimal right now because there isn't too much going on. But I can still give you information about the plants and the history of the garden. Throughout the season, as there's more to see, my tour fee does kind of change a little. But I would be more than happy to work with anybody. And I can also schedule private tours if you have family in town or want to do like maybe a special birthday party or special date night or something. It's, especially our summers and our evenings, we have so much light. So it's a
Right.
great after dinner thing to come out here and see the garden.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's about all I really had for questions. I don't know a lot about botanical gardens, so I can't dive too deep in this. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I would just encourage anyone that hasn't been here before to come on out. The Botanical Garden, they also offer a junior master gardener program to get kids involved in the garden as well. So, and a bunch of different workshops and classes. Really, it's a great resource out here, local resource. And again, you don't have to do the tour with me, but check out the garden, and I'd be more than happy to give you a tour. And for anyone watching today, for all of our Hey Anchorage folks, if you mention Hey Anchorage, then I'll offer a buy one, get one free tour of the garden. And that'll be good through the end of June.
Wow, that's very generous of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I've got your website scrolling across the bottom of this here. Is there any other way that you'd like people to contact you?
As I mentioned, you can also check out Airbnb or through Airbnb on the experiences section. That's also a spot, and there are others. There are also some other small businesses there as well in Anchorage and throughout Alaska. So keep that in mind if we're still doing staycations and playing in our own backyard. That's a great spot to find some really cool, maybe off the beaten path things to do here in Anchorage.
Sure. Great idea. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Brie. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a lot of success in your business. Hopefully this interview gets you a lot of people to come down and book tours with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I really want to thank all the local support. That's what really has helped so many small businesses through last summer. And I'm sure it'll help this summer again. So thank you, Anchorage residents and residents of Alaska. We appreciate the support.
You betcha. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'll talk to you later.